Hey peeps, good morning, die harders. Just ready to live free or die hard. Yeah, I feel that's a very 2021 thing. I came up with it in 2021, but it's neither here nor there. Moving on. I'll come up with a new intro some other time. In this here episode of the S&W podcast, no, the S&W Experience podcast, EXP. We're gonna be talking about Adventure Time Distant Lands. I've never done this, alright, so hang in there, alright? I've never talked about an entire season of a show. You know what? I'm not gonna talk about a whole last season. I'm gonna talk about this one episode. Because I was just talking earlier about, not on this podcast, but earlier I was talking about like bottle episodes, like what's your favorite bottle episode and on TV show. And for those who don't know, a bottle episode is an episode of a TV show that doesn't have to do with the main storyline. You know, like The Fly in Breaking Bad or Tales of Bossing Say from Avatar. You know, which is one of the best bottle episodes out there, man. Like, definitely check that shit out. Anyway, so I mentioned the episode like we fixed a truck from Adventure Time. And that episode has nothing to do with anything. But it's a fun episode. It's not filler. It's not filler to like pad out the number of episodes because Adventure Time doesn't do filler. Because there's episodes of that show early on in the seasons and shit where that feel like filler but aren't filler because they come back later. You know, like things referenced or things that happen in those episodes come back around later on. There's episodes like that, you know. That's kind of what makes Adventure Time shows like Adventure Time and to an extent AEW, you know, awesome. And even the movie Tenet to an extent, they make those things awesome is because the things that make them awesome, possibly one of the things that makes them awesome is that they reward you for paying attention, you know, for sticking around from the beginning to the end. They reward you for doing that. And I appreciate it when a show does that. Like, yeah, it's cool, man. It's a nice feeling. Like, something will happen in a later season. You'll be like, hey, that's that guy. Or from the early episodes, or, hey, I remember that joke, you know? Yeah, shit. Moving on. And I got to talking about distant lands and the bottle people. Oh, the Glass Kingdom. And so I thought, hey, let me come in and talk about this. So, this is the non-spoiler review of that episode of Distant Lands. Spoiler one's coming afterwards, because I figured just spoiling it out of the gate is kind of rude. If you haven't seen it, you know, listen to the first half of this. Once this part stops, you know, just check out, go see Adventure Time Distant Lands. It's on HBO Max, you know, go check it out, and then come back here. To hear the rest of the spoiler thoughts, Phil, right? Okay, without getting too spoilery into it, I enjoyed this show, man. I enjoyed Distant Lands. I enjoyed the first episode with BMO. It was kind of a prequel to the whole of Adventure Time. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed, I mean, even though it contradicted the story that the old man told about the BMO model, it kind of contradicts that. Because, you know, like, there you go, spoiling. I mean, that's a spoiler for Adventure Time, but hey, man, you watch Adventure Time, so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna talk about this episode. In this episode, see, I enjoyed this. The song at the end was really good, man. Like, really, you know, it gave me the feel. And the song that Marceline played in the beginning, that was directed towards Princess. Uh, anyway, in the beginning was actually pretty good. It was a diss, but it was still well written, even though it was more like this is a spur of the moment thing as opposed to I planned this out and you know, this is what I've been thinking all this time. It was more of a this is how I'm feeling in the moment right now. And Marceline is a great, you know, artist, man. She can play that guitar like nobody's business, man. That axe bass, and she can sing too. You know, that's a good combo to have in someone, especially a rock musician, whatever. And I liked the colorful nature of it all, man. I know it's Adventure Time, and Adventure Time is always colorful, but I don't know, man. It's just this instance of Adventure Time. I feel the colors are more subdued, less bright. Let me say that much. The colors are less bright, and it's not like in Stakes, the Stakes thing from Adventure Time, where everything was like they had darker colors to them, but it's just like this. It's the same colors as the regular Adventure Time, but on a less bright level. And I feel like because like we're not in we're not in the Candy Kingdom. We're not in those old days, like where everything was light and fun and cheery. Like things get a little less dim, less bright as time goes on. But like, yeah, characters have grown and changed. They're not who they were when we first met them. I'll get into that later, but it's like that's what I love about this Distant Land series because it shows the characters at a point in time, either in the future or in the past, and it's not the character it's a different character, and it's good to see this version because you don't want to be stuck with a similar version of it. You don't want to find out that fucking 100 years ago PB was exactly the same person she is now, because it's like, where's the growth, where's the change, where's the development for this character. And you don't want to find out that like all these years later, Peppermint Butler or Abracadaniel or fucking Finn are still the same people. I mean, those are pretty solid peeps, but like there has to be some element of change because a lot has gone down. You can't tell me that after all the shit that's gone down, they're still the same people. No, no, no. Something's got to give. But like, yeah, I love that this movie gives. I mean, this one movie, this series gives us that. That change, that growth, and shows us the dynamic between who these characters were, who they became, and who they are now. Shit, man, I'm talking a whole bunch of shit about Adventure Time show. I never would have thought in a million years I would be talking this in depth about an episode of Adventure Time, man. I mean, it's not Adventure Time, it's Distant Lands, but yeah, shit. And ah, this show, man. I'm gonna get into it. Before I do, I'm gonna give this episode specifically 7 out of 10. I don't know. What's the Adventure Time thing that I don't know. 7 out of 10 kingdoms. Yeah, let me say that. I'm gonna give this episode 7 out of 10 kingdoms. This episode of Adventure Time's Distant Land with Marceline and PB in it. This specific episode. I'm gonna dig into this details later. It's a great episode. You should definitely check it out. 7 out of 10 kingdoms is my recommendation. I love the story, like the characters and the themes going on, you know. But yeah, now I'm gonna get into the spoiler review. So here we go. We're back. Anyway, what happens in this episode, this Distant Lands episode? I'm sure it's the second one. Yes, the second one. This little glass kid living in the Glass Kingdom. He like wants to. I think he wants to impress the. I don't remember this. I don't remember much, but like he wants to impress the princess, but like he has a crack. He has a crack right in his forehead, and these advisors for the princess, they poke fun at him for it. Like people all over town are making fun of him because of this shit. 'Cause, I mean, you'd have to think this happens a lot, though. I mean, it's a glass kingdom. The people are made of glass. Everything's made of glass. It's a miracle the place is still standing. What with everything that's gone down, but yeah, sure, whatever. And he can't stand being picked on anymore. This kingdom has this mountain, and in this mountain there's a beast that's being kept at bay. It's been locked up. It's locked up, and they keep it at bay by singing. Like every year, they sing this song that Marceline wrote hundreds of years ago. and with that song, she finished off the beat. But let me give you some background. Um, Marceline and I almost called it Barnabo. Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, though technically not a I mean, she was usurped by the fucking King of Ooh and his, what was his name, Toronto? I don't know. King of Ooh and his little squirrel motherfucker, but I think that's done. I don't know for I think she's sort of just. I remember there was this episode like the King of Wu was like bizzed everything up. We need you to come like help us. And Prince Bubblegum was like fixing a roof, and she was just like, "Why do I always have to come on biz everything?" Like just like, I think at this point she was done with being a princess, cause it's a not that rewarding job. She was, dude. Jury's still out on whether she was a good princess. Cause to her own people, yes, she was the perfect princess you could ask for. I mean, at times she was rough on, not starchy. What was the cinnamon bun? Yeah, she was rough on cinnamon bun because he couldn't sleep without a light. And she's like, it's weirding everyone out. So it's like, I need a nightlight because I'm so scared. But like, I'm getting off topic. And she was like, yeah, well, shuts him in a room full of darkness. You couldn't give man a window or something, like let the moonlight come in. You couldn't like have the guards like, hey, carve a window into this room so light can come in and he won't be afraid anymore. Just had to like, no more nightlight for you, and shutting him into a dark ass room. Just what the hell? He almost burned up because of that. Just saying. But whatever. I mean, he was a picky motherfucker when he wasn't properly baked, like, it's too bright. It's too dark. Hey, fuck you, man. Just deal with this shit, all right? Turn it on or turn it off. Ugh. Anyway, moving on. To her own people, she was really great. It's to everyone else where there was a problem, dude. She spied on people. She spied on everybody. To the point that when Flame Princess, when she actually snuck in, dude, she is crafty. She was crafty princess, man. She had Ice King sabotage like the eternal flame in the flame kingdom, so that you know Flame Princess would request her help to try and solve this crisis. Cause like the flame people need that flame to like keep burning, and it like feeds them, cause they're flame people. So she like Princess Bubblegum got called in, and she was like, help me, help me. My citizens are like they're dying, they're like flaming out. I need your help. But it was all a ruse so that Princess Bubblegum could sneak into what was essentially a room full of WMDs. They're not WMDs. They're these giants, like these flame giants that the Flame King used to use for war. And Flame Princess was like, one day, she's like, these things could have enough power to like restart the fire and whatnot, what? But Princess Bubblegum wanted to sneak in here and deactivate these things to like remove any potential threat to her kingdom. Like these things, because these things are so powerful, they could wipe out. I mean, if activated, they could wipe out any kingdom they come across, including the Canyon Kingdom. So that's what this subterfuge was about. Essentially, it's like if the U.S. snuck into the Kremlin. It's like if the U.S. had agents sneak into the Kremlin and disarm all like the nuclear weaponry. It's essentially that's political as fuck. But yeah, it's fairly up there. Like so. Flame Princess is rightfully pissed. This is not the episode that I'm reviewing, by the way. I'm just telling you, giving you some. What am I doing? I'm giving you background on a character and on an episode that you've probably seen. So, let me just say this. Princess Bubblegum was shifty, okay? But yeah, in this past scene where PB and Marceline PB is trying to save these people, and Marcy's like, "Hey, check this out." Like she's like working on her X space. Like she didn't really get. She had like a mohawk ponytail combo. She looked cool. She was like a proper punk rock chick back then, and she. I think her and Princess Bubblegum were a thing then. I mean, they're a thing now, but I think they were a thing back then too. Cause like, there's always that like whenever she would show up, Marceline would say and like greet but PB, she was like, "Hey, Bonnabelle," or something like. I didn't click on it at first because I mean it's a kids show. Why would a kids show do this? I never thought to myself, "Wait, did y'all two hook up at one point? There's tension going on. Like, what is this tension?" Anyway, move on. Moving on. So yeah, she's working on this thing. She's trying to create this force field to keep this monster from destroying his people. Lock it into a mountain. And she, at the time, she doesn't really have time for Marceline. She's kind of busy trying to stop the destruction of these people. And, it's serve her duty as a princess. And, you know, saying I can't be like you. Sometimes I gotta be serious. I gotta be responsible. Sometimes I got responsibilities. I'm a princess. I can't remember if she says that's not verbatim, but like essentially says that. It's like that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt is like, he said I'm the devil and I came here to do devil shit. That's not verbatim, but oh, man, good movie. Anyway, yeah. So Marceline sees that and is like, "Oh, that's what you think of me. Like you think I'm just like all I give a shit about is having a good time. You think I'm like you think so little of me, and oh, you think you're that good." She didn't say that, but like that's what I took from that. She's like, "Well, check this out." You say, "Well, you listen to this," like Phoebe jumps up in the sky with the X bass and starts playing this song. It's called "Woke Up." It's on Spotify. Check it out. It goes like, "I'm so glad that I woke up. I'm sick of living under your thumb." This is line just like, "I don't really care about your stupid candy kingdom." I mean, damn, that is that's a breakup song if I've ever heard one, man. Damn, it essentially broke up then and there, man. It's like, I'm sick of all this stuff. I'm out. And that song, the venom and just, the nature of that song was enough to send the monster crawling back into the cave. And that worked. That saved the people. And everybody in the Glass Kingdom was like, "Hey, Marceline's a hero. She saved us. Her song drove the monster back in the thing." And it just made PB look kind of useless. Like, "Oh, we called you for help, but your friend is the one who saved us." Like, good, like, thanks for nothing, I guess. I don't know. She kind of felt, not only did she get dumped, but like, she was made to look like a less than. She kind of failed in her duty, like she was the one who was supposed to help these people and she couldn't. It sucked. She got it from both ends, man. Nobody came out of that. Well, in the long term of things, nobody came out of that looking good. But yeah, so all these years, I mentioned the bottle kid. So a kid sneaks into the giant door to try and fix his crack because there's this flame in there. This like flame burning in the mountain. I think it's essentially magma because this is a volcano that's closed because of all mountains. Not all mountains, but some mountains, even the ones that are closed at the top, are just volcanoes that have yet to go off. So he wants to get in there and using like the heat from the thing, he wants to try and fix the crack in his forehead. Because before this monster showed up, they did use like the heat from like that mountain and stuff to fix themselves. But now that the mountain is but now that the monster is locked in the mountain, no one has access to it anymore. So he sneaks in, tries to fix himself. It seems to be working, but then the monster wakes up and starts chasing his ass. But on the way out, he doesn't lock the door, and the thing busts out. Well, it doesn't bust out. There's still another door that it has to bust. There's two doors. He doesn't lock the first door, and so it's like trying to bash its way through that second door, and it's like, oh crap, what have I done? What have I done? And people like wake up and realize it's like, what have you done? Like he's like, don't worry, princess. Like I'm gonna fix this. And the advisors are like, damn right, you're gonna fix this. You're the one who did this, man. Oh yeah. Anyway, so he goes out. I mean, they try to sing the song, but it doesn't work. It's like this thing is still, bashing at the door. So he goes out. He's like, I'm gonna find Marceline. Like she saved us back. It's like, what? and everybody's like, what? I mean, like that was like hundreds of years ago. I mean, she's a it's that thing where like enough time passes that people stop that the true story ends up becoming more of a legend or a myth than an actual story. Like it's been so long since this person's been around that it's like they're a myth. Like yeah, right. You are gonna go find Marceline. Yeah, sure you will, man. But he goes and somehow like he. Oh no, he goes and he winds up in the Candy Kingdom. While he's there, he comes across Simon, who's playing the keyboard in this bar. This is the same bar, mind you, where where what's her name? I can't remember her name. Fuck it, she's purple. The lumpy space princess. Yeah, lumpy space princess met the so-called man of her dreams and lost him after technically murdering him. I mean, she sent him back in time, but like, yo, this is technically actually didn't she like erase him? Fuck, that's messed up. But yeah. So Lumpy's Princess met that guy when Jake was blue and like all down in the dumps. He wound up at this bar. This is essentially the bar that everyone goes to when they're feeling down or like whatever. Anyway, yeah. Also, why the hell does this ain't a traditional bar? They serve like sweets and iced tea. I think because it's Candy Kingdom. Why would candy people drink beer? Anyway, but I'm sidetracked here. So he goes there and he sees Simon, formerly the Ice King, playing on the keyboard. And it's the entertainment for this bar. So Simon takes him to Marceline and like he explains the situation like, yo, the Glass Kingdom, like the monster you kept at bay is back. We need you. And at first she's hesitant. She's like, I don't know, man. Like that place, cause that's the place where she wrote the song that is dissed, where she dissed PB, and they broke up. So not exactly. That's what I meant. In the long term, no one came out of this looking good, cause in that moment it felt good to like that was like yeah screw you and your rules but like looking back now that you're together again I'm like it's like I can't believe I said that to you like that must have hurt your feelings like yeah it just so she's reluctant to go but after some like encouragement from PB they go and they arrive and the glass boy is like see like I brought Marceline like she's here and people no when they get to the gates they're like let us in you're like whatever and they're like nah nobody's coming in like shit they try to explain like this is Marceline and they're like yeah right this is it doesn't even look like Marceline. I'm just thinking what the whenever somebody has to go out and like retrieve a legend or something why is there always somebody at like the gates who's like are you kidding me that doesn't even look like so and so I mean dude how the fuck would you all know what Marcy looks like? Nobody who's around then is around now. So this glass doesn't really. Glass shatters, man. Like just I think ages. But I don't know. Maybe. Like, nobody who's around then is around now. How does anybody know what fucking Marceline looks like if there's not like a picture or a statue? There ain't no statue or nothing. Of course, no one knows what she looks like. Plus, it was hundreds of years ago. Even if the people that lived that long, nobody would remember what she looked like exactly. You'd have a fuzzy idea, but like, also she doesn't have the haircut anymore, and she doesn't dress like that anymore. Of course, she doesn't look like that. Anyway, so they busted. When they arrived, I was just screaming, look, just say I'm so and so, and they'll let you in. Or fuck it, just roll up in there. You can fly, can't you? I mean, damn. Whatever. So they get in, and Marceline hears the song that they've been trying to use to like hold the monster, and she's like, whoa, that's not right. The reason this song has been working is because he's been messing up my lyrics. That's not the song that I sang. And she could have just dove right in and started singing the song right away, but I applaud this show because there was this moment where she like looks, when she goes over to Princess Bubblegum, who's standing there with her, and she's like, "Are you okay to hear this again?" Because they're together now, and she was like, that song was written in anger, and everything about it was a diss to Princess Bubblegum. And so she's like, "Are you okay to like listen to this?" Because it's kind of what it's like what she was reluctant to do. It's like if we go back there, I have to play. It, she knew like she's gonna have to play this song again, and she's gonna have to like reopen those old wounds, and she doesn't want to hurt. She, like now, she actually cares about PB and what she thinks and all that. It's like, are you good? Like, are you okay to hear this song again? She's like, no, no, no. I'm like, it's what you need to do. Just, do it. It's good. I'm good over here. So she plays the song, and I don't really care about the stupid candy kingdom. And you can see that BB's trying to put up a good front, but like you can see she's still clearly feeling that. Like, damn. Like, damn. I mean, and after the song is done, she's like, wait, are you okay? It didn't work. I mean, before they like realized it didn't work, she's like, she's about to go down and be like, hey, are you like, you still, you still good? But then it didn't work. The song didn't work, and the thing's still trying to bust through. And people's like, yeah, I kind of like I figured this might happen, so I came here with like this force field that it should, but like, and Marceline looks at her like, wait, you figured I wouldn't, you figured that, she looks at her like, wait, you figured this wouldn't work? You thought I'd fail? Like, you were expecting me to fail? Like, you knew this might happen and you just like let me carry on? Like, what the, I mean, that's kind of effed up. But yeah, you know, I don't think PB went there with the intent of like this song with like knowing full on like, hey, this song ain't gonna work. This isn't gonna work like it did last time. But I think it was more of a case of this may not work, and I should probably have a contingency if this doesn't happen. I mean, yeah, it's more that because she's considerate now. Like she would go through that process. Like, hey, if this doesn't work out, this like she's got all the faith in the world in Marceline and her song because it did work last time, and Marceline is pretty powerful and all that. But like, she'd have to have a contingency plan in case things didn't work out, like she did with transporting those pies. When she like asking Finn and Drake to transport those pies, she did have a backup plan in case they didn't work out. Because as reliable as they are when it comes to fighting monsters, when it comes to an ordinary shit, they're goofballs. Like she knows, like, hey, these guys, they're not always reliable. Like so I need to like have some kind of backup in case they mess up. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, they try and she's doing this force field trying to keep the monster at bay. She flies out, Marceline pieces out of there, and just I think she tried. Then she finds something. I think it's Hambo, or she finds like a memory, or for whatever reason she winds up in this old bunker, and it's there that she finds this message that her mom left her when she was a little kid, and when she was a little kid, and they were journeying through like the wasteland. She was really sick. She wasn't doing so good, and she knew she didn't have long to live. So she sent Marceline ahead into the safety of this bunker to like, I think wait out the eventual fallout. And she left her this message telling her like, the usual how much. I'll rewatch the thing, man. I'm so sorry. I mean, haven't seen this episode in a while. I just wanted to tell y'all how it felt, like what I thought and everything. But like, I'm missing large important plot beats. But yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the whole damn episode. But yeah, because I want y'all to go see it. Anyway. So she realizes that she's not that same angsty teen. I mean, she was hundreds of years old even back then. Not, yeah, she was old back then, but like, she can't go back to being that same person. She's changed. She's grown as a person. She's a better person now than she was back then. And the old bottle guy's there too. He makes a little guitar for himself and tries to be angsty, but like, whatever. They've Marceline and the little blue guy. They go back to this place. They go back to the Bottle Kingdom. And hey, I forgot to mention the princess's advisors are fucking annoying in this episode. They're like chastising her, like, "Yo, this ain't working out. We're starting to question like you as our leader, you know." And they have these voices like, this isn't working out. Like, it's that little blue guy's fault, this is whatever. Just, uh, sheesh. It's like, shut. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up. Damn, can the monster bust out and eat these fools yet? I mean, damn, they were so annoying. But, she comes back. Princess Bubblegum and Marceline wind up trapped in the mountain with the monster. The force field gets jazzed up by the fucking advisors, you know, and they end up freeing the thing. But like, you know, I think they somehow they bond with it, and they realize like this thing, like, it was a tormented creature all this time, and like they somehow ease its pain. I'm not gonna say how. You find this shit out for yourself. And they save the day, not by destroying the monster, but by like, allowing it to become a better version of itself. Let me just say that much. And then at the end, once everything is fixed, not everything is fixed. Something bad. There's a whole lot of debris flying around. She gets smashed. It's revealed that the princess of the glass people now has a crack. She's got a crack. Like, oh no. It's like, oh no, like, oh no, like it's just it's bad. Like she's all cracked up, and it's like, no, now you're imperfect. She's like, nah, screw this, enough. Like I'm done listening to you fools. And she says like she's done listening to her like fucking advice. Like, so what if I'm fucking cracked? We like our. It's essentially our imperfections make us who we are, not our imperfections make us weak or messed up. And pretty soon, the rest of the kingdom's people start coming out of the woodwork and revealing like, "Hey, I'm cracked too. Like I've been hiding it all this crime, but yeah, I got a crack here, got a crack here, crack here." And even the advisors who've been masking this shit with tape are all cracked up. What the hell? So after the smoke clears, this van comes out of nowhere. And Simon is like, Marceline, I bought help. And out steps Finn with a grizzled ass beard and a tattoo of Jake on his chest. He's like, hey, he's got one arm. I think he lost it because of the grass sword. He doesn't have like the metal, like the clampy one anymore. But like, yeah, steps out with his one arm, wearing nothing but a towel. He's got a beard. He's like, hey, Peeps, you got monster drops? Like, like, hello, welcome to the show. You're late, but we saved your seat, man. What took you so long? Where you been? Why do you have a tattoo? What happened to your hand? What's with the... Why aren't you wearing clothes? Did Simon, like, snatch you out of the shower or something? Wear your pants, man. On the ride over here, you couldn't, like... What the fuck? What the... Oh, man, this show... They have a party. Celebrate being cracked. We see Finn bust a move in nothing but his towel. But like, yeah, everything's good. Like, even between Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, it's good. It's good. Their relationship is, it's a bright spot, man. Like it's like the goody two shoes and the rebel, you know. Yeah, but like, it's not that cliche though. It's not a cliche because, like, I think they rub off on each other because, like, PB realizes, like, you can't be all responsibility and duties all the time. Sometimes you gotta let loose, and sometimes you just gotta throw the rule book out the window. And, with, with Marceline, she was like, hey, you can't, they just they compliment each other, and I'm glad they're together, man. I was, I didn't think, I didn't think they'd have the guts to do it. Cartoon Network has never really, it's never been that channel. No kids channel has been that channel to openly show a same sex relationship. I mean, PB is gum. I was just saying, there's a scene in here. Oh, I forgot about. There's a scene in here where PB tries to shoot the little jelly beans at this thing, And I'm just every time she tries that, it's like what everyone around her is like, what are you doing? Just what is what is this? What is Jellybeans doing? What are you doing? Ah, it was so good. Uh, yeah. Bottle guy gets the little bottle boy gets to be with the prince, the glass princess. You know, he finally impresses her like he always wanted to. They have a party. You know, shit's good. It's a nice episode. It's a feel good episode. You know, the show made me feel good. This Adventure Time normally just makes you laugh, but like just it made me feel good this time. PB and Ben, PB and Marceline are in a better place now than they were before, because like that past, that piece of the past is, it's finally in the past where it stays there. That song is no longer like it can't hurt anyone anymore. That song can't hurt anybody anymore. Not that monster. It doesn't hurt bubblegum, and like it just them. They. I'm harping about how happy they. Like it just. I'm so happy they. It's like good for them. Life is good. Hey, wait, this has been my SW experience review of as Adventure Time. Distant Lands episode 2, Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends, we're going to a very distant lands without Jack the dog and maybe sometimes Finn the human. The fun will never end, it's Adventure Time. Ooh, spoiler. That was a spoiler. Sorry about that. Shit. Ah, man. Should I review the whole season? Yeah, why not? And rob you people of future episodes? Hell yeah. I'm definitely reviewing the whole season. Just not now. Blah, 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 blah. I forgot something. As again, people, 7 out of 10 kingdoms. Yeah, let's say that. 7 out of 10 kingdoms. This has been the end of the spoiler review. Thanks for tuning in. And till next time, folks, I have been the Shogun! And this has been the S&W Experience. Ciao. And as always, you can't make dill bread without dildo.